Multiplying fractions. First, let's just review what does multiplying fractions mean. Multiplying fractions means that you are taking a part of a part. That means that you are starting with something that is less than a whole, and you are going to take a part of that. I like to tell my students, again, think about food. So I've got a pan of brownies. Part of the pan of brownies is going to have chocolate chips in them. And of that part that has chocolate chips, I'm going to add nuts to only part of that part with chocolate chips. And so you are breaking something that's already less than one into smaller sections. Now, visually, if I look here, I'm going to be taking a half of 3/7. That means in reality, what I'm really doing is I'm starting off with 3/7. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take a half of that portion. Now, multiplication means of in terms of an English words, because we are going to be taking a part of a part. So from here, I'm going to break it up into sevenths. And I'm going to be shading in 3 of the 7th pieces. So 1, 2, 3. So this is the portion that I have. And like I said, maybe if I want to think of food, I want to be thinking that I've got 3 of these 7 pieces. I'm going to add something special. I'm going to put chocolate chips in here, okay? So just to make it a little bit more interesting, I'll just add some dots just to kind of indicate I added chocolate chips to this portion, okay? Now, of this portion, 1/2 of that portion, I'll add almonds to it. All right, so now what we want to do then is we want to break this portion up into halves. And so we're going to switch and we're going to go, instead of cutting vertical like we did last time, we cut horizontal. So we're going to cut it horizontal into half. And half of the section, I'm going to add something else. So we will shade that in terms of a portion. So we're going to do almonds. So I'm going to do almonds on half. Now, some kids like to shade just the portion because really I'm focusing on only the 3/7 side. So I'm only taking half of that side. But some kids shade all the way across because they're just shading the whole half, and that's okay too. So what you're looking at is you're looking at the double shaded section, which represents both parts of the part. So we have our original 3/7, which is located here, right? 3 of the 7 pieces. And then we are looking at 1/2 of that section. So this section right here is our double shaded portion. That's our 1/2 of the 3/7. Now we think about multiplying the dimensions of a rectangle also as this is like finding the area. For example, I have 1 out of 2 pieces that are shaded here. And the section is, that's double shaded is 1 of the 3 pieces. So really the dimensions of this is a 1/3 rectangle, in which case you can see 3 pieces are in fact double shaded. Now, the dimensions of the overall rectangle has 2 pieces this way, 1, 2, by 7 pieces this way. So this is really a 2/7 rectangle, which means that there are in total 14 sections. So there's 14 sections here. That means then, as we multiply the area of this section, the 1/3, which is double shaded, is 3, and we can see we have 3 pieces double shaded. The area of the whole and how many parts it was broken up into, 2/7, is 14. So we have 3 out of 14 pieces, as we can see. Now, if that doesn't make sense, take a look at this picture here, which already is shaded in for us. And so we're going to be doing 2/3 of 4/5. As you can see, according to the picture, so we start off with the 4/5. So here is our fifth. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we've got our 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We shaded in 4 of the 5. That means that this rectangle was broken up into 4 out of 5 parts. And then we took 2/3 of that part. And so we cut in the vertical direction, 1, 2, 3. 2 of the 3 pieces are shaded. Now again, the numerator indicates this is how many pieces are double shaded. We shaded in 2 in this section here. And then we cut and we shaded 4 of this section, which means that we created a 2x4 rectangle that was overlapped and shaded by both. And so that's a 2x4, which means it has an area of 8 squares. And if we were to count, we would see 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the denominator tells you what's the dimensions of the whole rectangle. The rectangle as a whole is 3 this way by 5 this way. So a 3 by 5 makes 15 total pieces. And so 2/3 of 4/5 is 8/15. Now, what do we do when it is mixed numbers? So if it's a mixed number, because we again are taking part of parts, we need to make sure that we are going to first turn them into a fraction. So we need to take these mixed numbers and make them as an improper fraction or a fraction greater than 1. So to do that, I've got 3 holes. They each have 3 pieces. 3 groups of 3 is 9 pieces. That's just how many are in the 3 holes. I have an extra 1/3, so I've got an extra 1 piece out of 3. So 3 times 3 is 9, plus the extra 1 makes this 10/3 times 1 group of 5 is 5, plus the extra 3/5 is 8/5. And because we're taking a part of a part, the numerator, as I just reviewed, is telling you I have shaded in 10 parts this way, cut by 8 parts that way, which means I have 80 pieces. The denominator tells you the dimensions of the rectangle. It was a 3 by 5 pieces, which is 15. Now, we don't leave it as a improper fraction or greater than 1, so we need to convert that to a mixed number. So how many 15s go into 80? So we've got 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. So that makes 5 holes, uses 75 pieces, and an extra 5 pieces out of 15. Now we can simplify 5/15 by dividing them by common factors. They can both be divided by 5, which is 1/3. So this 3 1/3 times 1 3/5 is 5 1/3. Now for multiplying, you can use a strategy called cross-canceling or simplifying before you multiply if you aren't good at multiplying big numbers and you want to just make the fractions smaller at the beginning. What that looks like is you are looking for common factors diagonally. Common factors that you can divide out diagonally. Now, factors that go into 5 and into 10, or that make them, 5 can go into 5 and 5 can go into 10. So 5 is a common factor that you would divide out. Notice that's what we did here. We're just doing it at the beginning rather than the end, just to make the number smaller. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Then you look in the other direction. Any common factors between 3 and 8? 3 is prime, so it's only 1 and 3. And 8 has 1 and 8 and 2 and 4. They have no common factors, so can't do anything that way. So what you're going to do then, now that you've already simplified and you made it a little bit smaller, you will multiply straight across just like we did at the one up above. 2 times 8 is 16. 3 times 1 is 3. How many times can 3 go into 16? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. That's 5. That uses 15 pieces with 1 extra out of 3. As you can see, we end up with the same solution using just a different process. So if you want to try cross-canceling before you multiply, you can do that. Otherwise, you can stick with the method of just multiplying straight across and then simplifying at the end. Your choice. Go ahead and give the second problem a try. You can pause the video if you need some time. For the second problem, again, first task is to make them into an improper fraction or a fraction greater than 1. So we've got 2 groups of 3, that's 6. So we've got 2 groups, they each have 3 pieces, that's 6, plus the extra 2/3, which is 2 pieces, that's 8. So we've got 8/3 times 2 groups of 4, plus the extra 1 piece, that's 8, 9/4. Again, you can, as we showed before, you can choose to multiply straight across. 8 times 9 is 72. 3 times 4 is 12. And how many groups of 12 go into 72? We've got 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72. It's exactly 6 with no leftovers. Now, if you want to try the cross-canceling way, so we've got 8/3 times 9/4. We would look diagonally to see what common factors can we take out. 8 and 4. Well, we've got a few common factors. Keep in mind 1 goes into every number, but dividing by 1 doesn't really do anything to make it smaller. So we know that 2 can go into 8 and 4, but we also know that 4 can make the number 8 as well as the number 4. So we're going to divide by the greatest common factor, which is 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. Then we look in the other direction, 9 and 3. Common factor between 9 and 3 is they're both divisible by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now that we have simplified the fraction before even multiplying, we're able to just multiply now. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. As you can see, we have the exact same solution, just 2 different ways that you can proceed with your multiplication.